The 3 knocks left an echo in the flat, but it was the silence afterward that truly chilled me. The bailiff was long gone. The envelope, however, felt like lead in my hand. Inside, that symbol, a circle crossed by a vertical line. My heart skipped. I'd seen it before. Not in a book, not in a file, but on a summer night when I was 8. My father pulled me out of bed. We were running. A black car was waiting. In the back, a man with a ring. That symbol was on his ring. He looked at me in the rearview mirror. It wasn't an adult's gaze, it was an evaluation, as if I were cargo. The flashback shattered when I read the card, the warehouse address, and that signature, the same as the man with the ring. Letters traced like knife stabs. You were there that night. You know what your father owes us. My breath hitched. They weren't coming for my father's money. They were coming for me. Night had fallen, one of those nights where even the streetlights seemed tired. I left the flat without thinking, the envelope still in my pocket, as if staying inside made the threat more real. I walked fast, hood up, trying to hide a fear I could no longer mask. At the corner, my heart skipped a beat. A black car, tinted windows, the exact same model from my childhood memories. I kept moving, but in a shop window reflection, I saw it, a silhouette, too close to be a coincidence. I turned into a narrow alley. It followed. I stopped. It stopped. Turning around, I saw the man in the long coat. He didn't say a word. He just raised his hand to show me his ring, the crossed-out circle. Then he pointed to the wall behind me. The same symbol was tagged there, the paint still fresh, glistening. When I turned back to face him, the alley was empty. But under the tag, 2 words stared at me. We're waiting. I didn't plan to go there that night. But after the alley, the silhouette, the ring, and that symbol on the wall, I realized something. Waiting wouldn't change anything. They were already watching me. I walked across the city with my hood up and my hands in my pockets. The streets were almost empty. A few cars speeding past, a few strangers staring a little too long. Or maybe it was just me, seeing danger everywhere. The address on the card led me to an abandoned warehouse, squeezed between a railway track and an empty parking lot. A gray building, no windows. The rusted gate creaked in the wind. I stopped a few steps away. No lights, no movement, just that heavy silence, the kind you only find in places where things happen that no one talks about. I pushed the gate open and stepped inside. My footsteps echoed on the concrete floor. The air smelled like dust and cold metal, stacked crates, tire marks on the ground, and at the back, a half-open door. A thin line of light slipped through the gap. I moved closer. My heart was racing, but my steps stayed steady. I reached for the door, and then a voice behind me. "You're late." I froze. The voice was calm, too calm. I opened the door. A single bulb lit the room. In the middle, a table. On the table, a file. And behind it, a man sitting in the shadows, hood down, face hidden. But I didn't need to see his face. I saw the ring, the same ring. He tapped the file slowly. "Your father knew this day would come. He left you something we want." Then he added quietly, "And you're going to give it back." He slid the file toward me. "Open it. Then you'll understand why we found you." I opened the file and my whole body went still, because the first photo was me. Not as a kid, not as a teenager. Me, today. The photo had been taken that morning, right outside my house. I stayed perfectly still. my fingers gripping the edge of the file. The photograph lying in front of me had been taken that very morning. My own face stared back at me like a silent accusation, and a cold sensation crawled up the back of my neck. The man across the table didn't move, as if he were waiting for a reaction. I gave him none and turned the page. The second photo showed the entrance of my building. The third, the street where I buy my coffee every morning. The fourth one froze me. It was my workplace, the facade, the interior, then my office, all photographed at night, empty. My stomach tightened. This wasn't surveillance. It was a map of my life, a meticulous study. Someone had been preparing something around me. I kept flipping through the pages. Handwritten notes, schedules, my routes, my habits, even the names of people I barely notice each day. Then a different page appeared, older, yellowed. I recognized my father's handwriting instantly. A list of objects, places, and at the bottom one word underlined twice, transfer. My heart started pounding violently in my chest. I had never seen this list. I had never heard about this transfer. But the man sitting across from me, he knew. "You understand now," he said calmly. "What your father owes us isn't money." I lifted my eyes. "Then what is it?" He leaned forward slightly, and the light slid across his ring, still marked with the same strange symbol. "What he took, what he hid, and what you are going to find." I was about to answer when he raised his hand. "Before you ask, yes, we already know where you will begin." He pulled out one last photograph and placed it in front of me. My blood ran cold. In the image, there was neither me nor my father. There was someone else, someone I hadn't seen in years, someone I believed was far away from all of this. Under the photo, a sentence had been written: "He never left the network." I stood there for a long time, staring at the photo. The face looking back at me belonged to someone I never thought I'd see again. Someone from before everything fell apart, before the night of the black car, before the secrets. I slipped the file into my jacket and stepped out of the warehouse. The cold night air hit my face hard. The city felt different now, like every shadow was watching me. I walked fast through empty streets until I reached a building I knew too well, the one where the man from the photo lived. I looked up at the windows. No lights, no movement, but a black car was parked right in front. Same model, same color, same feeling I couldn't shake. My heart started pounding. I moved toward the entrance. The door was slightly open. That wasn't normal. Inside, the stairwell smelled damp and stale. I climbed slowly, one step at a time, until I reached the third floor. The apartment door was open. Not broken, just open. I pushed it gently. The room was dark, but I could see signs of a struggle. A chair knocked over, a broken glass, and on the table, something placed there on purpose. A ring. The symbol, again. A cold sweat ran down my back. I took a step back. Someone was there. Another man, younger, more tense, but wearing the same ring. My body froze, but my mind kept moving. Something was wrong. Something had already gone too far. He gestured for me to follow. Every instinct in me told me to run, but I knew I couldn't anymore. So I stepped forward, then another. Just as I was about to go down the stairs, a heavy sound echoed from below, a muffled cry, then sudden silence. The man shifted. Something wasn't supposed to happen. My heart slammed against my chest. Something had just gone wrong. Something serious. And for the first time in a long while, I felt a prayer rise inside me. Not planned, not controlled, just raw. A cry from deep within. Lord, I didn't even finish it because something was already coming up the stairs. The shadow rose from the bottom of the stairs like a breath of darkness. I stepped back, but it was already too late. Behind me, the exit slammed shut. A man was blocking the way. The corridor tightened, silent. No escape. The man coming up wasn't in a hurry. His steps were slow, steady, like he already knew. Halfway up, he lifted his head. The light hit his face, and that's when I understood. This wasn't a stranger, not someone from the network. It was worse. It was someone I knew. He stopped a few meters away from me, calm, too calm, but his eyes told a different story. Fatigue, hardness, a decision already made. I looked around, no way out. Behind me, blocked. In front of me, occupied. The apartment, empty. I was trapped. I tried to buy time, to understand, but I could feel it. This wasn't a conversation. One subtle move and everything shifted. The grip behind me tightened, violent. My body slammed against the wall. The air left my lungs. Pain shot through my shoulder. He was talking, but I wasn't really listening anymore. Only one thing was clear. He wasn't going to let me go. He took a step closer, then another. Too close. I saw his hand rise. The ring, the symbol, the same one. The grip on my arm tightened, stronger. My body stopped responding. Breathing became harder, moving, impossible. My heart was racing, too fast, too loud, like it might give out. And in the middle of it all, a thought came back, faint, distant, something I had forgotten. Lord. Then, a sudden crash echoed through the building, sharp, violent, like a door being forced open. Everything stopped. Then footsteps, several, fast, deliberate. I felt it. Something had changed. Not them, not the network. Something else. The two men exchanged a look. A real one. Not a game. Not a threat. Fear. I didn't understand. I hadn't seen anything. Just the sound. Those footsteps on the stairs. And something shifted. Instantly. They were confident a second ago. Now, they weren't. The man with the ring spoke under his breath. We need to leave. The other hesitated. Just a second. Then his grip on my arm snapped. Too fast, too sudden, like something made him let go. They stepped back, eyes locked, but not on me anymore. And I felt it. Then they left. Quick. Not walking. Running. I stayed there. Alone. The silence came back. But not the same. Lighter. Easier to breathe. I leaned against the wall. My body was still shaking. I didn't understand anything. I hadn't seen anything. But one thing wouldn't leave me. a sentence. Those street preachers, the ones I used to ignore, they always said, "Whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved." I didn't know why it came back now, but it was there. And just seconds before, I had called, without thinking, without really believing. Just, "Lord." I slowly lifted my head. "Lord, was that you?" I heard nothing. No voice, no answer. But something rose inside me. A gentle warmth, calm, deep, peace. A peace I had never felt before. And deep within me, without proof, without explanation, a certainty settled. It was that call that saved me.